Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. To my bed crimers, hi, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you for checking out my channel. Let me just ask that after listening to or watching the video, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something, do me a favor, smash that like button and consider subscribing. Also, if you appreciate my work, please consider supporting the channel with a Patreon membership. Now, let's dig in. Well, it's official. Suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann is being investigated in the 1989 murder case of Carmen Vargas. Vargas, like the Gilgo Beach 4 victims, was a petite escort working out of New York. Her bound body was found just a few miles from Rex Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park, Long Island. This Thursday, prosecutors confirmed that the Nassau County District Attorney's Office is investigating the case after Vargas's family claimed Carmen's death bore too many similarities to the Gilgo 4 slayings that Heuermann is accused of committing. Vargas's niece, Felicita Figueroa, told the U.S. Sun on Wednesday, "I believe he did it." He, meaning Heuermann. She said, "I believe he did it when he first started killing." Now, I already did a video about Carmen Vargas, so you should check that out if you want to learn more about her. It's in my Gilgo Beach Monster playlist. I'll just give you a few of the details right here. Vargas was 29 in 1989 when her body was found dumped on the side of the Meadowbrook State Parkway in Freeport, about 7 miles west of Heuermann's home. According to her niece, who was just 12 at the time, Carmen was last seen by a mystery man who picked her up outside the family's East Harlem apartment. Figueroa told PIX 11 last month, quote, "She got into a dark car." Could that be Heuermann's Chevy Avalanche, which is and was dark green? "I could tell it was a white man with glasses." Who do we know who is a white man with glasses? Well, probably a lot of men, but we've seen photos of Heuermann during that era, and indeed he wore distinctive eyeglasses. So it's great to hear that Carmen Vargas's case is actually being investigated now in possible connection to Rex Heuermann. I also wanted to tell you about one of the Gilgo Beach victims' sisters who says that she's still haunted by the murders and she blames the cops for sabotaging her sister's case. Her name is Amanda Gove, and in an interview with Patch Riverhead, she slammed the Suffolk County Police Department's decision to only release video evidence in her half-sister Megan Waterman's case last year. That was 12 years after Waterman's disappearance. Gove said, quote, "Are you kidding me? That should have been released that day or the next day, or as soon as possible, not now." Gove is talking about her half-sister Megan walking out of a Hopage, I hope I'm saying that right, hotel just before she vanished. Gove believes that this and other mistakes probably ended up sabotaging the case. Well, it also didn't help that James Burke was the police chief at the time. So Amanda and Megan shared the same father, but they had different mothers. And Megan was only 22 when she went missing on June 6 of 2010. Amanda said that Megan was not only her blood sister, she was also her soul sister. Amanda says that in the 13 years since Megan's body was found, and starting 6 months after Megan's disappearance, she's experienced vivid dreams in which she feels Megan's presence. She said she sometimes dreams about a house and garage she doesn't recognize, I'm wondering if she's seen Rex Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park, which she thinks may be her sister trying to communicate with her. And in addition to these visions of an unknown house, Amanda said she sometimes feels she's by Megan's side in her final moments. I can see how if you have like a soul sister relationship with someone like that you could have this sort of empathic ability to see and feel and even have vision. I don't rule anything out in this world, I'm telling you. Amanda said, quote, I had a nightmare every single night, a repetitive nightmare where I could hear her saying my name, Amanda, Amanda. I didn't want to go to bed. Not only was Megan Amanda's soul sister, she was also her best friend. Amanda said, quote, we lived together for 8 years. From the time I was 14 on, I spent almost every day with that girl. We were inseparable, we were pregnant together, and had our kids 2 weeks apart. When Amanda found out about Rex Heuermann's arrest for her sister's death, she said it was a curveball. She was absolutely shocked. In the months after Megan first disappeared, Amanda said she stumbled on a photograph of 2 hearts linked in sand. Both she and Megan loved hearts. Amanda said, quote, it sounds crazy, but I knew she was by the water, by the beach. Amanda was so moved by this image that she even searched the area along Gilgo Beach herself, even though she lived miles away at the time. Remember, she knew that Megan was last seen on Long Island. Amanda wants the world to know that Megan was so much more than an escort. She said she was a sister, she was a mother, sex worker. That's not who she was. And Amanda also said that her sister would never voluntarily have left behind her then 3-year-old daughter, Liliana. Amanda said of Megan's death, it shattered their family. It was, quote, the worst thing I ever went through and that I'm still going through. I always told her I don't know what I would do without you. I still don't know what to do without her, end quote. Amanda said that Waterman's brother Greg was also completely broken by the killing. She's quoted as saying, to see my older brother cry, it was a shock to me. To see him cry, to see him looking so broken, it crushed me. She was describing him at Megan's funeral. Gove did say that bringing Megan's body home gave the family some closure, but she said that every day is still literally hell as they wait for justice. Now I'm going to play you video of both Megan walking out of that hotel, standing in the lobby of it before she vanished into the darkness before her death. According to the police, she was leaving to meet Rex Heuermann. And then I'm going to play you video from PIX 11 News of Carmen Vargas's niece, Felicita Figueroa. Figueroa is a very good example of the pain that is forever etched on the faces and hearts of the families of these victims.
A new quest for answers tonight in the unsolved Gilgo Beach serial murders. It's been 12 years since the first human remains were found along a Long Island stretch of beach. Today, for the first time, video released by police is of one of the victims before she was killed. CBS 2's Carolyn Gussoff reports law enforcement is also upping the reward to solve these crimes.
We are making real progress.
Suffolk's new police commissioner bringing transparency and he hopes new leads in a notorious crime spree that stumped police for a dozen years, releasing video never seen by the public of the lobby of the Holiday Inn Express in Hauppauge on June 4th and 6th, 2010, seen in a yellow top of Megan Waterman in her final hours.
We believe she did leave the hotel that night to meet her killer. We hope that anyone who may have been in the area that night or may have seen any of the individuals depicted in these videos will reach out to our Crime Stoppers hotline.
Police say they hope to jog memories and they're doubling the reward for information to $50,000. Waterman was one of 6 sex workers killed, found along with the remains of 5 other people. Videos appear on a revamped GilgoNews.com website, a renewed effort by a task force that includes talking to sex trafficking victims in jail.
Was Carmen Vargas, and she was found tied up at the side of the Meadowbrook Parkway in Fremont. Freeport in 1989. This is 8 miles from where accused Gilgo killer Rex Heuermann has lived his entire life. Carmen's niece was the last to see her alive.
It's bothering me. Like, I don't eat.
Felicita Figueroa was the last person to see her Aunt Carmen alive when the 29-year-old woman got into some kind of truck at the corner of 106th Street and Lexington Avenue in the summer of 1989.
She got in a dark car. Like, I was only 12 years old, so I couldn't really see, but I could tell it was a white man, and I seen, like, glasses.
On September 11, 1989, a motorist discovered the body of Carmen Vargas, clad in a tube-top miniskirt and tied at the ankles, south of Merrick Road on the Meadowbrook. She had a rope and towel around her neck, but wasn't identified for 3 years.
Always, for me, location is the most important factor. It's far more important than MO.
This online writer, who publishes a regular column called Murder Incorporated using a pseudonym, said Heuermann had ties to Freeport and also noted that the Meadowbrook Parkway leads to Jones Beach, where Heuermann was a seasonal worker in the 80s. The accused Gilgo killer lived 8 miles from where Vargas was discovered. Her family gave dental records to a Nassau detective in 1992.
She's missing 1, 2, 3 teeth. He said that whatever happened to her, she fought that night because 3 of her teeth were knocked out.
Rex Heuermann is the prime suspect in the Gilgo 4 murders of petite women found dead in the Ocean Parkway brush in 2010, very close to the Jones Beach Exchange. 3 of the women were bound with burlap. Some other victims on this stretch of road were dismembered.
A serial killer can vary the way they do things. There's no rule that serial killers have to do things the same way every time.
We reached out to a law enforcement official in Nassau County who said he would check on the Vargas murder. We also asked Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney if his office had been receiving tips about women left near parkways since Heuermann's arrest.
We receive tips on, in all cases at all times, but we maintain the confidentiality of the investigation.
Carmen Vargas's niece said serial killer Joel Rifkin was interviewed in 1993 about the murder, but he refused to take responsibility after confessing to killing many other women.
Joel Rifkin said, "That's not me, that's not my work, that's not my victim." But we thought it was him, so we let it die for all these years.
But now, the victim's niece feels compelled to learn the truth.
My mother died with this. And my mother was my everything. She was heartbroken, she was depressed, she went into using drugs. I have a gut feeling like it's really him.
Rex Heuermann has pleaded not guilty to the Gilgo Beach murders, and his attorney accused the media of convicting him in the press. But the fact remains his arrest will prompt a whole new look at cold cases dating back decades. Shirley